Hi, welcome to Inside Boxing's Throwdown. I'm Aurelio Martinez, my co-host Stephen Johnson. Hey, today we're going to go ahead and in our first segment we're going to talk about last week's events. And I want to say exciting events, not so much that the action was exciting, but we have a lot to talk about. We're talking about Deontay Wilder and his matchup with Eric Molina. And then, of course, our guy that didn't make weight.
Yes.
Walters and his
X-Man.
Yeah, the X-Men, and we're going to talk about them because both of them were decent fights, but they weren't without controversy. I mean, obviously, one guy doesn't make weight, loses his belt on the scale, comes into fight, and ends up fighting Mariaga with 10 pounds over a difference in that weight class. So a little bit unfair. So we're going to talk about that. Steve, let's go ahead and start with the Deontay Wilder fight.
Let's back up. Let's start first with the fight on June June the 12th. We started off with at the UIC Pavilion in Chicago on Spike TV. Remember we had Erislandy Lara and Delvin Rodriguez.
Yep.
I was highly disappointed in Erislandy Lara. Though you remember, and all of you folks remember, in 2010, I told you that this guy was going to be a world champion.
You were real high on him.
And he is a world champion.
You were real high on him, yeah.
And he slacked off a little bit in his aggressiveness. You know, he boxes and then he gets to a point where we're like, we need to see more than boxing, and he literally starts running. You know,
yeah.
I mean, and it's not a good thing to see. He has all the talent in the world, but like in his fight with Canelo Alvarez, you know, I mean, you just back off, you take your foot off the gas for whatever reason, and think you're just going to coast. It's not going to happen. Delvin Rodriguez, I think, has seen his better days. I thought Delvin was going to be a good test for Lara, but it was no contest.
Well, Devin's always been that gatekeeper.
Yes.
You know, you have to get past the boxers like Devin if you're going to make it past that plateau and get into contendership and actually fight for a world title or become a world champion. And I agree with you. I think Erislandy Lara. I think he just kind of went backwards. I think he, like you say, he thinks you can box in the pros like you do in the amateurs and just throw punches and score, throw punches and win the fight. Well, you can, but it's different. It's a different outlook in scoring in the pros. First of all, you got to win the hearts of the people that pay. And that's the fans, and the fans don't like that. Okay.
Nope.
So basically, he's kind of gone more and more into that style of fighting. And I'm gonna tell you what, to me, it hurts him more than it helps him. And you know, for him to come out and call out Floyd Mayweather after that fight, you know, people just look and shook their head. It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a joke, and you sound stupid doing that. You know, you come off of a performance like that, and then you call out the best boxer in the world. But that's really all I got to say on that fight.
Yeah, and just one other thing, you know, even having said that, I think he's on a collision course with a rematch at some point with Canelo, because at the 154, those are still the best out there. Lara still has the WBA and the IBO titles. So
why doesn't he fight and defend them against Triple G?
Come on, man. Nobody's going to do it. I'm just saying, who wants to mess with Triple G?
I mean, why would Canelo fight him?
Well, listen,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Triple G. I'm not. You talking about? I thought you were talking about Lara.
Yeah, Lara. Why doesn't he fight Triple G?
Well, don't mention that. You don't hear nobody talking about Triple G, and I don't blame him. But anyway, let's go on to the next fight that was on that undercard of that. That was very quietly Artur Beterbiev, who is the Russian living in Canada, who took on Alexander Johnson. It wasn't a fight, anything other than Johnson held up as long as he could. Beterbiev stopped him in the 7th round. But I think for you fight fans, you might want to remember that Beterbiev, he's on a path where he's kind of laying in the weeds with him and Sergey Kovalev, because Beterbiev beat Kovalev in the Emmys. Okay, and so I think there's a little bit of thin line there, but as far as Beterbiev, I think right now he's 9-0 with 9 KOs level.
Yeah,
he's a tough out for anybody. Nobody's really mentioning his name. We got a lot of people that can possibly deal with him. You got your Adonis Stevenson.
Yeah,
we got John Pascal. Who else do we have in that division? Besides Saki Obika. that might be a good fight for him just to stay busy. I think he takes care of Saki Obika. I think Bitterbev and Sergey Kovalev on a collision.
So what's then we're going to talk about him in the next segment. Andre Ward, what's he fighting at? What weight?
Who knows? This fight he's having, we're going to get there, but it's a catch weight of 172.
Well, I was going to say you throw his name in that mix.
I'm done
okay.
with him. We'll talk about that later. Okay. But your opinion on Bitterbev and real quick, Bitterbev and just not Johnson. Johnson got knocked out.
Yeah.
But Bitterbev,
Yeah.
what's your opinion of him?
Well, I think like you say, he's making a name for himself, and I definitely think that he's going about his career properly. He's going to come building his career, making a name for himself, and he can box a little bit. He's not just doing it as a pick and choose. He's actually going to be a contender.
Okay.
So yeah.
Let's move on. On Saturday night, June the 13th, we went to Madison Square Garden, on HBO, where we had that fight with Nicholas Walters and Miguel Mariaga. 12 rounds for Walters' WBA featherweight title, where he lost the title on the scales at the weigh-in. He couldn't make weight. He had to give up 40 grand in order for the fight to go on, and it did. And in my opinion, as soon as the bell rang, it looked to me like Walters was just physically bigger. He was physically stronger.
He was.
And my only issue is that he couldn't stop Mariaga.
Well, see, Mariaga, I tell you what, I like that kid. I had never seen him fight before.
Yes.
You read about him and you know his record is there, and he's a tough kid. But I haven't actually physically seen him fight until then. But I like the kid, and had it me, and I mean this, had it not been for him fighting someone 2 weight divisions above what he was weighing, he wins that fight.
He probably did.
He wins that fight. And the only sad thing about that is he took the $40,000 for a loss on his record, to blemish his record, and that's not fair. And I know it's a big network at TV and stuff like that, but at some time you got to put your foot down. And the guy can't make it on the scale. Get your check and walk away.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, the networks are going to say, no, you can't do that. It's going to kill the network. It's going to kill the rating. We have nothing to show. But that ain't your fault.
Put the pressure on Walters.
If it's one of my fighters, we're walking home. And they give you that old, well, we ain't never going to call you back. I'm not the one that messed up the card, okay? I'm not the one that didn't make weight. You're asking me to give, we can go ahead and do an exhibition. We can fight and do an exhibition since he didn't make weight. Then it shouldn't count. The fight shouldn't count. I mean, that's fair, don't you think?
I do.
So let's go ahead and fight, give the fans what they want to fight, but there's not going to be a win and loss on anybody's record.
I told you I have a problem with these fighters not making weight. I have a problem with catch weight.
Yeah. So anyway, so we can have time, our 3-minute thing here is going, but we want to talk about Deontay, so I'll just finish it with saying...
Hold on. You're getting a little bit here because on that undercard, remember we have Felix Verhel and Ivan Nahara.
Yeah.
Okay, don't leave them.
Nahara.
Nahara. Now, what do you think about Verhel? Verhel. He's Puerto Rican?
Yeah.
Do you think he's the real deal?
I'm not going to go that far yet. I'm not going to go that far. I mean, because when you go into a ring like that and you have every advantage as he had, he's very tall, and he knows how to fight tall.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I heard in his voice a little bit of scaredness, let's say, when it talks about the big boys, because he's talking about, when they talk to him about going up in weight because of his size and stuff, that he can contend at the higher weight.
Yeah. He
no, I'll go down to 130. So he wants to fight little guys. I just kind of sense that he's afraid to go up there and fight someone his own size. So to me, he just came off to me as being a bully. Okay,
well,
I'm not gonna go there. I mean, it wasn't like he was a Hitman Hearns in that ring.
Sure,
he wasn't that. So we'll just leave that kind of flow and pan out. See where it takes him.
Once again, here's another fight where he's in the limelight on TV, right here on HBO for everybody to see, and he can't stop this kid.
Yeah,
He can't stop him, and he was trying. I mean, he was trying to stop me, and he couldn't stop him. And then, like you said, the commentary afterwards, where you look at, he's not really too anxious to jump up. I know the Puerto Rican fans are, but we'll see how that all pans out.
He doesn't want to fight anyone that has a chance to beat him.
I agree with you.
So that would kind of turn me off. Okay.
All right, well, that's the end of segment 1. We're going to take a quick break, and Aurelio and I'll be back. We're segment 2. We're going to finally get to your fight with Deontay Wilder down in Alabama. So stay with us. We'll be right back.